The story of Riko's Submarine Sulfuric trip. Riko is a nice guy. He has a chemistry major and joined the United States Army when he was 30 years old. When he was a kid, he watched a lot of cartoons, like most children who grew up with television. And he always really enjoyed watching cartoons with mad scientists, alchemists, and so on. That was his main motivation behind becoming a chemistry major. He likes experimenting with chemical compounds, mixing new ones, and does this during most of his free time. In the Navy, he serves in a nuclear submarine division, and he is the captain of his division. For the most part, the submarine is docked in the Kitsap Naval Base. Lately, Riko has been experimenting with a mix of sulfur and psychotropic drugs. He is currently mixing up a crazy mix of speed, meth, LSD, and sulfur. Much to Riko's surprise, it seemed like the sulfur is acting like a binding agent between the drugs, and was really happy analyzing the results. He did most of his experiments from home, and since his submarine was docked, he had a lot of spare time for the moment. He kept on looking around the new chemical compound he had made through a microscope. He has been quite ecstatic the last week. But now he would have to stop his pet project because his now modified submarine was going to do some testing in the waters of the Pacific. Their submarine got a propulsion upgrade, which made it the fastest ship on Earth, with a max speed of 5,184 kilometers an hour. No other ship would be even close to its speed. Many aircraft are slower than this. It was a breakthrough of incredible proportions, as it was the first supersonic submarine to be made a reality, and it was Riko to be the first captain of such a ship. Now, all that was left was to celebrate this amazing new achievement of the American Navy, so Riko and his crew went to a bar to enjoy themselves. Everybody got drunk and had a great time. After the whole party, they stumbled back home, hardly even being able to walk. Riko came back home at around 2 in the morning, and checked on his liquid drug compound, and just because he could, he put it in a cup and drank it. Now, not only was he drunk, but had a chimera drug within him, and things started to become really weird. He started seeing everything as if it was a rainbow wonderland. Things were constantly popping in and out of existence, and he had an urge to go back to his submarine. The drugs really started kicking in after he was already driving towards the Navy base where his submarine was. He stepped on the gas in the middle of the night and would swerve around any cars in front of him. He came to the base within 10 minutes after he stepped on the gas. Now it's 3:15 a.m. and the world is completely different. There are dragons flying around on a sunny day as Riko was going to his hot dog to spray mustard on the Chinese. Riko came to the night shift guards and knocked them out, thinking he was giving them a light massage. After he knocked them out, he went to the submarine, detached it, and went full speed out of the dock towards the Pacific. The guards regained consciousness after 30 minutes of being knocked out, and Riko was now in the middle of the Pacific Ocean heading to Japan. He saw an incredible sight of fireworks while looking around the submarine. He was incredibly hyperactive, running in circles in the submarine while it was driving fast towards Japan. He fired a few missiles, which exploded on the coast of Japan, causing big waves and destroyed a few beaches, and some of the coast had to be evacuated. When the guards woke up, they immediately alerted the Navy that an officer had gone rogue and took the new experimental supersonic submarine. The American authorities first tried to locate the submarine themselves, but before they did, they got a report that some of Japan's coast had been attacked by missiles from an unidentified ship. They quickly alerted Asian nations of a rogue submarine that was marauding the East Asian coast. China mobilized their navy and formed a search party to track down Riko. The event now went public in Japan about an attack by America. It started being broadcasted live as planes started tracking Riko and the submarine. Riko encountered a squadron of Chinese submarines and swiftly destroyed them with a few warheads while whizzing by them at a great speed. Now, Riko had used around 10 missiles and 10 torpedoes out of the submarine's armament. He had 10 missiles and 20 torpedoes left and shot them all around the place, hitting parts of the Taiwanese, Chinese, and Philippine coasts. He mingled around the Philippine Sea until he saw that there was a dark abyss in his rainbow world and decided to investigate. He descended into the Mariana Trench, illuminating it with fireworks. As he went down fast, he shot the last of his weapons and slammed into the side of a wall 10 kilometers below the surface of the water. His hull ruptured because of the pressure of these depths and the fact half of his ship was jammed into a wall. He saw the darkness flowing into his rainbow world and felt a horrible sensation, and fear of death set in. He was at the front of the ship, which was in the rock, and noticed a hole leading to light. Riko, seeing the darkness behind him, went through the hole and saw a metropolis. Huge structures, bright blue lights, and weird fish people approaching him. The fish people looked at him with fascination, until Riko had a heart attack and fell dead on his face in front of them. The fish people took him for examination. The fish people examined Riko while tension on the surface world was getting incredibly high, seeming like a war was about to start. And that was the story of Riko's submarine sulfuric trip.